Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you all have been doing well. If it is you new, welcome. Please hit subscribe and also put on your notifications so you'd always know when it is I put up a new video. Today's video is going to be a collab with Yemurai Crawford here on YouTube. I just saw it started because I really love her channel. She does reviews, she does vlogs, she does pregnancy updates because she has 2 sons, and I really love her personality. She's like me, we talk a lot. So if it is you know you don't like long videos and you don't like people who does like talk, right, make sure that if you watch my video that you go and check out her channel, because she's going to be talking about skincare for the body, and I'm going to be talking about skincare for the face. With the body, we have basically the same type of skin, which is dry skin, and I am going to be talking about my face, which usually for me is oily. In Trinidad they always told me that I have very oily skin, but there it is extremely humid. The weather is different. Ever since moving to France, it feels a lot different. It's just like my skin really oily. It's more in summer and like certain days, or when it's humid here, my skin will be like oily. I'm going to go into it thoroughly and try to keep it brief. Also today on my face, nothing. The only thing I have on lashes, because I have been, you know, trying to get my lash game on. But explain what and how I got my face to look like this. This is basically how I prep my skin before I put on makeup, so don't worry, we're going to cover all of that as well. All my skincare is in here. I had to put it in a bucket. I had to put it in a bucket. This is the Pond's Cold Cream Cleanser, and this is like a oldie, like a real oldie. How this is used, basically I take a big glob and I spread it over my face, especially concentrating around the eyes, and I leave it, I massage it for around 2 minutes until it turns into oil on my face, and I use this to take off my makeup. It works good like with a baby wipe. I always use a baby wipe because it has way less stuff in it, and I rinse it out in the sink and I keep wiping it off until it's gone. Once that is done, I can go in with a soap, like a mild soap, and cleanse my face. I do it in reverse. Sometimes I use the soap first if I have on really heavy makeup. I will wipe with toilet paper, then I will go with a mild soap and just wash my face like I just wash my face. Use my Pond's. I would try to wash it off again. So this is why I do the reverse. So I use this and then the soap, because I try not to leave any residue of this on my face. You don't have to like take it off. Completely, some people moisturize with it. I don't agree with moisturizing my face with this, but it's a really good cleanser. It's really good to like put that oil back in your skin. It has mineral oil, and this is why I don't leave it on my skin, and I just simply don't like how it feels anyway. So I really love this though, because it's a oldie, it's affordable, and it just really gets everything, especially around your eyes and stuff, and it's really practical to use. I don't know if they have it with a pump. If they ever have this with a pump, it would be good. Neutrogena Hydro Boost, I would probably do a separate review on this, but I also use this on my face to take off makeup. I usually put some pumps, smear it on my face, and then I use a cotton pad to clean it off. When it is I have more heavier makeup, especially around my eyes, I find it's really lightweight, so I would spray my face with water or dampen my hands with water, and then mousse it up, well, rub it into my face a lot, really work it, and wipe off my makeup. Same thing with a baby wipe or with toilet paper or something, and then I follow up with the moisturizer. But this is really good, and it's really hydrating. It's like hydration galore without the stickiness. The last cleanser is a product that I already show here on my channel, which is the Skin Actives with the charcoal mask, and this product is like for me it's like an all-in-one. It's a mask, it's a cleanser, you know, and it really shrinks the pores, and for me this is something really important when I'm using products. So from here on out, I will explain what it is I did to my face. Click on the eye to get that, and you would get more details into it. But I put it on my face, I let it dry down like a mask, and this is what I did before I came on here on camera. And then I rinse it off. I usually wet my hands out and really mousse it up on my face. I like the little granules to feel like if they're dissipating into my skin. You don't want to overdo it, or at least I don't overdo it, and I go really gently on my skin, rinse it off with warm water, and then I do my final rinse with cold water. If it's in summer, I do my rinse with cold water, and even sometimes, you know, you could put a little butter like this in the fridge before, fill it with water, throw it like in a basin, and like dip my face in it for as long as I could hold my breath, and it really locks and shrinks my pores. I keep talking about my pores because it's like an issue for me, because the more they are gaping and the more they stay open and big and stuff, I tend to break out and have issues with blackheads and things like that. So for me, that is important. So once I finish, I go ahead and I put my sweet almond oil on my skin, and I also have a video on this. I concentrated under my eyes, here on my forehead, here, and voila, more the centers of my face. I blend it in, I tap it in while my skin is moist. If I find my skin isn't moist enough, I go in with water in certain areas that need the moisture, especially under my eyes. I would either wet my hand with tap water, or I would spray with my water first and put that in. Yeah, so once that is settling in, I let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then I proceed with my moisturizer. So at the moment I'm using the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. I really love the formula because it is not sticky. The finish is not sticky, but it is extremely hydrating. I really get that into my skin. I pat it in as well, and usually that is it. I do this in the night before I go to sleep, and I do it a lot before I want to put on makeup, or if I just want my skin to be refreshed. Of lately, I have also been incorporating coconut oil into my regimen on my face, because I usually use another oil, which I will show you soon, but that oil was finished, and I discovered that I really love how this coconut oil feels on my face. The thing is, this is a 1 liter bottle of coconut oil. I finished 1 liter already, and this is the 2nd liter, and it's like here. I usually use it to make my soaps and make my creams for my body. So I knew I liked the oil well enough on my body, but I never really used it for anything else, and it's really amazing on my skin. It's even like competing with this oil, but the thing with this is that it's more affordable in the sense that I could get a big bottle, so I know I could have it for the whole year if I want. This is something I'm always on the hunt for, and it just disappears from the shelf, but it's really amazing. And when I want a more moisturized, I pack that coconut oil over my Neutrogena Hydro Boost. Like, if I just find I want that extra, I go over with the coconut oil, and it is great. And I'm just really happy that, you know, I was not breaking out with it. The next oil that I use a lot on my skin was macadamia virgin oil, macadamia nut virgin oil, and this is cold extract. Really love this too on my skin, on my face. I use this sometimes, and it was really great. And this actually was one that I was using in between a bit when I couldn't find this, and I finished the bottle, and I had restocked on this in the meanwhile, and yeah. Another moisturizer, this is something that always return into my regimen, basically, that I use all the time. It's the Nivea Soft, and it's a very, you know, easy to use hydrating cream. I really like it because it has jojoba oil and vitamin E oil, and I am very, you know, on my vitamin E oil. I just always go back to it. Even if I find things really amazing, I always go back to this Nivea Soft cream, because it's for your face, hand, and body, and you know, I could just throw it in my bag. I have this when I'm traveling, so it's always a must in my regimen. The next thing is vitamin E oil. I use this a lot under my eyes as well, and I use vitamin E oil like this, and in the capsules. Did I take the capsules? I did not take the capsules, but I use these on the capsules for when for under my eyes, if I have an area on my skin that is burning, like on my face, or when it is I have blemishes. I try to treat the blemishes very early by putting drops of this on the blemish, and you know, it's suffering. I have periods like that. My skin is not always like this. I have periods when my skin really acting the fool, as I call it. And yeah, and I need to take care of it. Next thing as well for treating my skin, this is cocoa butter. This is pure cocoa butter. This is what the block looks like. It's like a pack. I rub this on my face. Natural methods. I use lemon juice, I use cocoa butter, I use vitamin E oil, and things like that. The next thing I use is tea tree essential oil and lavender essential oil. Tea tree is when I get buttons or pimples. I try to attack acne or any form of pimples early on, because even if I leave it alone and you know, you let it get ripe and then you burst it, they say you will not get a black spot. I get a black spot, and if I leave it and let it get huge, that is how big that black spot is going to be on my face, and it isn't going to want to go away. So what I do now when I have these, I usually try to pop it as early as possible. I go in with my tea tree oil, I go in with my lavender oil, and I go over that with my vitamin E, and I usually make sure I really oil my skin in the night, especially before I go to sleep, using cocoa butter. And I have to do that for months at a time, and try to use sunscreen in the day, which I'm not really good at, honestly. Yeah, that was my full video brief on how it is I take care of my skin. I know I have a lot of oils here, and I don't know if I should do a separate video on why it is I put so many oils on my skin, but I would say one, in the past, each time I had to use oily skin targeted products, I used to be really happy because I would get matte skin. I didn't have the shiny Rudolph nose all the time, and I was happy. I was like, yeah, matte. But later on, a lot of times it came with really horrific breakouts. These girls with all these things on the face and buttons everywhere, and you're like, ugh, and it's hurting and stuff. Those are the kinds of issues I was facing with my skin when I use oily skin targeted products. So now my skincare, like, I stopped using the oily skin products because I never had a positive turnout with it, not a long-term positive result. It would be my skin feeling nice and clean and matte and everything, but it always came with a drawback where I had massive breakout, massive irritations. Because of the irritation, somebody said maybe I have more sensitive skin, so I started to use more products geared towards sensitive skin, and I noticed I could never complain about these products, as well as I started to test products for normal skin, and it works well too, just for normal skin. But the oily skin products, I stay away from it. I don't stay away from oil anymore. Now, before when I knew I have oily skin, I would not want to put an oil on my skin or finish or anything. Now I put oils on my skin like crazy, and it's crazy because I feel like if the oil taking away the oil, my skin is not that oily, you know. It's like more hair. This nose is like always shining. All hair would be springing out oil, but I'm okay with it. I don't want to look matte anymore, because when your skin look oily, you tend to look younger than you actually are. So so yeah, that's it, you all, for my video on my skincare. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. As I said, share, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Don't forget, if you have questions, ask below. And don't forget to go and watch Yam's video. I will like put it right here, link it. There's an I, click it.